loves, and welcome to As We Know It. This is a visual novel dating game where you live in a post-apocalyptic world and you have been accepted to live in this sort of bunker society, I think. And I'm really excited because I love dating games and I love visual novels. Those are two things that you will definitely learn about me as I play games on this channel. So I'm pretty excited to play this. Let's get into it. Ooh, okay. Lots of stuff. Mature audience, everybody. Keep that in mind. So this is us. We'll name her Zora. Yes. And she can have brown hair. And I have really pale skin. Perfect. Wait, can I change the last name? No. Phillips. Okay, we're good. Ooh. Let's see. It was a tiny place, much smaller than our house had been, but we wouldn't die here if the power went out during a dust storm. Mama? Zora, can you help me with this? Sure, just let me change out of these rags first. I changed quickly, and I rushed over to open the tub with our very limited possessions inside. We had to leave a lot behind to come here. They had informed us of the limited space. My mother sighed and started to lift things carefully out of the box and place them on the various shelves that were provided. I miss all of our things already. Aw, I miss them too. We should try to stay positive. Mom sighed again and just shook her head. I suppose. Mom stood up and started organizing everything into an appropriate spot. I went to our new beds and began to lay out the provided linens. The fabric was very soft and free of sand. I almost felt bad touching it. We had a bathroom, kitchen area, and separate beds. There was also a hinged table that could be pulled up from the wall, and small chairs that could be tucked away. On the wall by the door was a metallic intercom system with a tiny speaker. The floor was hard and made of vinyl that roughly resembled wood. I had stared at the shower for a while before realizing what it was. I showed Mom and we both watched the water fall from the ceiling as we twisted the knobs. It was incredible. There were even fake windows by the bed, featuring paintings of incredible landscapes with green trees and water, something I had only ever seen in books. It was small and it wouldn't provide a lot of privacy, but it was safe. It was home. The crackle of the intercom made me jump. I looked at Mom, and we both looked at the small speaker. The voice was understandable, despite the static. In 1 hour, I need all new citizens to come to the community center for orientation. I hope you all found your accommodations comfortable and efficient. If anyone has any questions or concerns, please remember that we are always here for you. There was a pop, and the noise stopped. I started to look over the map that had been in the welcome basket on the table. The layout was simple, but I'd probably still get lost. I was used to wide open spaces, and here there were tunnels and paths all over the place. I mean, it sounds like I've got my bearings pretty explored, so let's look at the map. I studied the various hallways and tunnels that connected us in the odd underground city. I narrowed my eyes and tried to will my mind to memorize the lines and words. However, my vision started to blur with the effort. I blinked and decided to try focusing on the path from our residence to the community center. Do you think there will be signs pointing where to go? Probably. There are some that led us here after we got inside. Before I could respond, there was a loud buzz. Apparently, the little intercom also notified us when someone was at the door. Mom glided over to slide back the latch and pull it open. I began to reach for a weapon, but I remembered that they had been confiscated. Oh, hello. I don't call them an intruder. You let them inside your house. They're obviously not an intruder. Hey guys, just checking in with the newcomers and introducing ourselves. A tall woman with short black hair and an attractive smirk sauntered into the room. She wore the uniform of a security force, a uniform I was starting to get used to seeing around here. She pointed at herself and took a friendly glance around the room. I'm Evelyn Turner, but just call me Ava. I'm assigned to this block, so if you're having any problems, let me know. Ooh, okay, already flirting. She winked at me, and I could feel the heat of a blush form on my cheeks. Her outgoing personality filled the tiny room. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Is it just you in charge of everybody on this floor? Not just me, ma'am. It's me and a few others, but I'm the smartest and toughest, so... She just shrugged, as if that was the only explanation we would need. It's kinda charming. Overall, she seemed good-natured. Is the community center hard to find? Nah, nothing's hard to find down here. Just follow the signs of the crowd. Lots of people are heading out there now. Oh, Zora, maybe we should get going then. So you're Zora. I might be. I started to reply when my mother jumped in. Oh my goodness, how rude, of course. I'm Camilla Phillips, and this is my daughter, Zora. Ava grinned and waved off my mom's concerns. No worries, Miss Phillips. Adjusting to the change of living down here can be hard for you newcomers. Her grin faded. Pessimism settled over the room. So, how are things up there? Not great. The dust storms seem to be happening more and more, and nearby power station is having a ton of issues. I shrugged. Things only got worse up there, never better. Ava nodded and gave me a small smile. I won't hold you two up any longer. I should really get back to making the rounds. See you both around, okay? It was really nice meeting you, Miss Turner. Feelings mutual, ma'am. Oh, it was a really nice meeting you. Mom and I said our overly polite goodbyes as she left. Mom seemed to like her, which was good, especially if she was part of the security force. When I saw that name, I had originally shuddered. The word force just sounded so aggressive. It was probably just nerves, though. Shortly after Ava left, we ventured out into the halls to make our way to the community center. A large Welcome to Camden banner had been hung above the doors to the community center. The room was noisy and crowded. There were chairs facing a small stage and tables lined with coffee and water. Bulletin boards were on the walls with various flyers and notices tacked onto them haphazardly. The stage held a podium, and in front there were two clean but vintage speakers. The man I assumed to be the mayor was talking to some security officers on the stage. He stood tall and easy, with a commanding presence. He looked important. I sat down in an empty seat, and Mom looked around. People were reacting to this new situation in a variety of ways. A woman near the back of the room was sobbing, and the man next to me was just staring blankly off into space. Mostly there was an air of relief. We had been accepted, chosen. We were safe now. A hush fell over the crowd as the man stood to address us. He was handed a small microphone, and we heard the familiar crackle of speakers. Probably the mayor. Who knows? It seems as if everyone has made it here safely. I'm glad. He smiled and looked around the room. You may know who I am, but allow me to introduce myself anyway. I am Rick Davidson, the mayor of Camden. I know a lot of you are scared, traumatized by your life on the surface. Know that now you are safe. Together, we can build upon this community to create something magnificent. A home. He clasped his hands together and then held them up for everyone to see. There was some hesitant applause. I know it's just like his coat, like covering his legs and stuff, but it really looks like he just has like the world's tiniest waist. And it's really throwing me off. First thing you need to know is that Camden welcomes you. He flung his arms out wide to motion towards the crowd. There was more applause, stronger now. In Camden, we know that cooperation is the key to a comfortable life. This is why I must ask all of you to prepare for the Camden Career Festival on Saturday. What is this, fucking career day? Hello? It's a yearly celebration to welcome you, and to help all of you find your place within our modest little society. As for choosing your career, there are a wide range of options. Each department will be hosting an open house in the evening starting tomorrow, You are all encouraged to attend as many as you like until you find a good fit. We will need everyone who is capable to contribute, and in return, I am confident that we will continue to thrive in Camden together. The applause was much louder and more enthusiastic now, and once it died down, he continued to speak. If work or anything else is stressing you out, I encourage you to take advantage of the many relaxing pastimes available here in Camden. Most are free. Though many of your basic needs will be met, your career will earn you enough beads to purchase a wide variety of luxury art items, fabric, entertainment, liquor, and... oh? Have any of you ever tasted an apple? Y'all are growing apples down here? People began to move through the room and hand out small red things. I looked down at it and shared a look with my mother. We had heard of apples. I'd never seen a picture of one once. I bit into the firm flesh and tasted sweet juice. I looked down at the glorious apple in my hand and heard my mother squeal in delight beside me. Man, apples sure are good. Like, I get it. Incredible! I smiled at her and turned to eat while the mayor waited for everyone to settle back down. He then continued to speak, and I was stuck in my daydreams. Apples, nice fabric. It was also incredible. I glanced over at my mother. She was gazing at the mayor, completely enraptured. She clutched the apple tightly, only one bite missing. Mom? She only looked at me and smiled, nodding her head. Then she returned her attention to him. I glanced around the room and saw a lot of similar looks. If they weren't being directed towards the mayor, then the red apples in their hands. Suddenly, everyone stood up and began to cheer. I joined them, trying to hide my confusion. I must have said something, but I missed it. Mom, why are we clapping? He's amazing. He really is. I think he's inspired optimism in everyone. It's just wonderful. I guess. What are we going to do for jobs? Mom stopped clapping for a moment. I'm not sure. We'll need to attend to those open house things. I wonder what kind of jobs they have. If there's a job for an apple taste tester, sign me up. I held the apple core for her to see. She seemed to remember her own apple and took a bite. I'm going to try and say hi to our new neighbor. Mayor. What? What just happened to me? You should walk around and mingle. Get to know our new neighbors. Oh, 'cause neighbor. Okay. I guess I just saw that and for some reason my brain placed it in the wrong part of the sentence. That's fine. I didn't reply, but she had already started to walk away. I sighed and glanced around the room. Kept trying to tell myself that this was my life now, but I wasn't sure if it was sinking in. It was weird to not be searching for food or watching out for strange shifts in the wind. I glanced around the room. There were some people who clearly weren't new here. They stood near a large bulletin board. So many people. The noise echoed really badly in here. I closed my eyes and rubbed at the bridge of my nose. Mom was right, but did I really want to try talking to any of these people when I felt so on edge? Nah, try and sneak out. Dude, that's what I would do. Too many people. I'm good. It seemed like a good time to leave. There wouldn't be a flood of people, and I could just look at the info packet thing later. I started to back up and began heading slowly out the door. Everyone was stopping to greet each other, but I avoided eye contact. I might be able to escape. No one else looked as spooked as I felt. It made me feel crazy. I slipped through the door and tasted freedom for a brief moment. Then I noticed that I was not alone. Oh! Hello. A man was leaning against the wall, playing with a rubber band. Ah, I see I wasn't the only one who wanted out of there. He looked up at me and snapped the rubber band. Hallway, dude. I, came out here to smoke. Then I remembered that I quit. He held up the rubber band and snapped it again. Gotta keep my hands busy. Oh, that's good. That you quit, I mean. This was more social interaction than I had wanted when I had snuck out. He didn't seem too bad, though. I'm Jude, by the way. Like in that really old song. Hey, it's nice to meet you. Did that sound awkward? He was looking at me with an intense gaze. And you are? I swallowed and nodded. Right. I'm Zora. I'm one of the newcomers, I guess. I figured since... He pointed towards the community center. You aren't? No. I opened my mouth, but I didn't know what to say. He watched me for a moment and then snapped his rubber band again. Yeah, so I've got to get out of here. If anyone asks, you didn't see me. He didn't wait for any kind of reply. He just walked away. I blinked, not sure what to think. I shrugged and continued on to our block. I could wait for Mom in the privacy of our new home, before anyone else popped up close enough to talk to me. Mood. A lot of people were looking at me with open curiosity. Something about me must be screaming surface. Maybe sand was falling out of my hair or something. That would be really awkward. Paced around the tiny room that was now my home and waited for Mom to show up. As soon as I had started to worry, the heavy door opened and she appeared. Were you waiting for me? I want to go to bed and I didn't want to lock you out. I have a key. No, you don't. I pointed towards her key that she had forgotten on the table by the box of fresh clothing. Ah, well, lucky for me I had such a wonderful daughter. Yeah. So how's the mayor? You seem smitten. She waved me off and dug through her clothing to find something to sleep in. He's a nice guy, that's all. Are you curious about him? His family made this whole place, funded it and everything. Yes, for nothing in return, just wants everyone to live a better life. Like I said, smitten. I don't trust him. I immediately don't trust him for some reason. I don't know why, I got a bad feeling. Mom laughed and retreated to the bathroom to prepare for bed. I was already good to go, so I curled up in what was now my new bed and tried to be grateful for the nice blankets. The small space was unnerving, but I kept facing out to keep it easier on myself. I'd get used to it. I could hear her humming and it made me smile. I knew I could count on Mom to get a crush on a guy our first day here. Her romantic escapades had gotten us into a bit of trouble before, but hopefully it wasn't something we would need to deal with here. Hopefully. Lights inside our quarters blinked off, and I tried to get comfortable. Mom switched on her white noisemaker, and I closed my eyes. I had been shocked that she had grabbed such a thing, but now it was drowning out all the weird sounds that were echoing through the place. Luckily, this place had electricity, and the mayor seemed generous with it. Tomorrow, I would need to find something to do until I could go to a career open house. It felt strange to not be sealing the cracks and watching out for a storm, but the door was sturdy, and there were no windows. I was so exhausted I couldn't have stayed awake all night, even if I had wanted to. Oh, okay. Stress. Oh no, my stress! Standing. What's that? And then Ava, okay, so I guess these are all, like, all the characters, and these ones are romanceable, I guess? And then our stress level. Gotcha. When the intercom finished its annoying good morning message, I rolled over in bed and saw that Mom was already up and dressed. We need to see if we can buy a coffee maker somewhere that still works. Coffee was one of those luxury items, but I was pleased to learn it wasn't too expensive. Why don't you get ready real quick and come with me to the community center? They serve coffee there every morning. For free? No, but it's cheaper than buying the stuff to make it yourself. I groaned and squeezed my eyes closed. Sleep more or get coffee? Let's go get coffee, dude. Hell yeah. I rolled out of bed, got ready, and followed Mom to the community center. Coffee. Need coffee. Why would you have a need for coffee? You've been on the surface where presumably there was none for a long time. You wouldn't need coffee. Saw a table lined with steaming coffee cups, and I began to head over, but Mom tapped me on the shoulder. Zora, look, it's the mayor. Her voice was almost girlish with excitement. Whatever, I just wanted coffee. Go ahead and get a cup of coffee. I'm going to go say hello. I blinked slowly and watched Mom saunter off towards the group of people that apparently included the mayor. I should grab her a cup of coffee, even if she probably didn't need it. She'd always been a morning person. Took my cup of coffee and grabbed a spare for Mom. After I handed it to her, I sat for a while as they all talked about different things. The coffee wasn't strong enough and I was starting to get hungry. Mom, I'm going to go home and make something to eat. We had been given a modest package of food with the promise of more. Zora, you have a wonderful mother. I'll make sure she gets home safely. I didn't like that he had picked up on my nerves about leaving her behind. Mom only ducked her head with a wide smile. Alright, honey, I'll meet you back home later. Uh-huh. Do you have the key? She nodded and pulled it out of her pocket to show me. I smiled at her sheepishly. I was overreacting. Okay, sorry, Mom. You know I just worry. I know. Now go on and get some food in you. I'll be back home before the open houses begin. I nodded and left. I couldn't help but think about the fresh produce that waited at home. Things I had never tasted before. I ducked into the hallway and made my way through the people going about their day. Getting home wasn't too hard. I just followed the signs that led towards my block. Everything was actually laid out really well. I'm yawning. It was different. It was different than the surface, where everything was just sort of shoved together from ruins. When I got back home, I sighed with relief. It wasn't exactly quiet, but there weren't people all pressed up against each other here. I distracted myself with food, portioning everything out carefully. The fresh stuff would spoil if I wasn't careful. I glanced through the welcome packet while I ate. Hours passed before Mom finally returned. Again, she was in high spirits. I smiled and tried not to show that I was concerned. Mayor seemed like a nice enough guy. He wasn't in a relationship or anything. I should simply wish her the best. He was probably only one-sided anyway. He was the freaking mayor, after all. Oh, Zora, Rick is so wonderful, isn't he? He insisted he escort me all the way here. Okay. Oh, really? Is it dangerous for us to be alone in the halls? I don't think it was like that. I think he just wanted to talk to me more. She shimmied her shoulders with pride and began to swan around the room towards the food. That's nice. So, have you thought about the career open houses yet? Which one are you going to? Mom paused, and I saw her deflate a bit. I'm not all that good at anything. We always just did what we needed in order to survive. It seems strange to have a job. Yeah, but this is like a proper society, right? Yeah, it's wonderful, isn't it? I smiled and nodded. Despite the anxiety, I didn't see a reason to worry. The lights hadn't flickered too much. I hadn't heard the roar of a sandstorm, and no one had tried to rob or kill us in our sleep. Things were different now. Better. I just needed to adjust. So, where were you headed tonight? Any of the jobs interest you? I shrugged. Just going to check out the open houses and figure it out from there. She nodded, and I apprehensively left to attend the first open house. I walked into a large room with several tables all lined up. The uniform had been set up, and there were lots of little packets with information. A large man stood by a bulletin board and was talking to everyone who came in. Oh, hello. I had barely taken two steps inside when Ava bounded up next to me. Zora, you came. Oh, I just realized. Oh, wait. Oh, she's got like a dragon tattoo or something on her neck. Oh, that's cool. I'm not sure what I had imagined, but this wasn't it. It looks so boring. Ava frowned briefly, but shook it off. I think a lot of you service landers are used to a very different kind of authority. This is set up for the people, to protect them, not to control them. She placed a friendly hand on my shoulder. Come on, I'll show you around. No one will give you a better tour than me. Oh, yes, ma'am. Oh my god, that's so embarrassing. She's cute, okay? What do you want from me? She's cute, alright? Look at her. Since she worked here, she'd have all kinds of valuable insight. Show me all the secrets, okay? She grinned at me. You got it. I followed Ava as she pointed things out. She seemed to have a story for everything. That's my locker, and that's the cameras, but they are unreliable as hell. These are the holding cells. She opened the door to a narrow hallway with small, secure rooms. No one was inside, thankfully. The idea of being confined in such a tiny place made my stomach drop. Holding cells? Yeah, if someone acts up too much. She glanced at me and her smile faded a bit. Hey, not people like you. Oh, who's people like me? Ava placed a hand on my arm. You don't look like a criminal to me. That's a relief. Ava shrugged. Mayor doesn't make a habit of taking in criminal types. I know what it's like on the surface, but it's different down here. Really. Now, want to see something really cool? Sure. Ava led me to a back room, and a back room? Oh no, I don't want to be there. Ava led me to a back room and opened the door into darkness. There's a snap, and it lit up to reveal several weapons. Oh, shit. Right? We only ever use them when we're dealing with invaders. Doesn't happen often. You know how to shoot these? Why is there no picture of the guns? Not really like I want to see guns, but I mean like if you're describing guns, then you'd think there would be guns on screen. I picked up a large gun. It was heavy and cold. I had seen plenty of guns, I just never held them. They were hoarded by Sandmen, and if they learned that you had one... I handed it back to her and she held it out, striking a pose. I've begged Vince to let me take this home, but he won't let me. Probably not safe. Having that kind of firepower can't be safe. Yeah, that's what he says too. Okay, come on. Oops, sorry. Clicked out for a second. Ava then led me back to the main room and outlined what would be my various duties if I joined the security force. Protecting people, fighting off anyone who attacked Camden, doing rounds to watch out for stuff, lots of paperwork. Apparently she hated paperwork, but seemed to enjoy all the other aspects of it. Whoa! Hello! My god, you're tall. We went back to the boss, as Ava called him. He didn't seem bothered by my earlier appearance and told me to call him Vince. He seemed content with that introduction and left me with Ava. I wasn't sure if this was the job for me. It sounded dangerous, but exciting. I moved into Camden hoping for security. Maybe the best way to make sure I was safe was to take matters into my own hands. As everything wrapped up, I grabbed an informational packet, and then I headed home. I'm interested. Mom was already in bed, so I crawled into my own and went to sleep easier than I ever had. Well, alright. Standing is going up again. My stress is good. Still nothing as far as points go with relationship points. That's okay. So we've only met 2 of the romance options so far. We've got Ava and Jude. And if I do say so myself, I do really like Ava. So probably won't choose anyone else, but we'll see. We'll see.